Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and yet another video about early interceptive orthodontics, pediatric dentists, or general dentists who are interested in working with kiddos, which is the easiest thing in the world. I don't know why somebody wouldn't want to do it. Like I've always told you, if you don't like kids, there's probably an assistant in your office who does like it, and depending on what state you're in, you probably don't even have to touch the kid, barely. You just have to do the diagnoses depending on what appliances you pick, of course. You're picking fixed, yeah, you're gonna have to touch the kid. So pick your kid and your parent wisely, but goodness, this is like the funnest part of ortho. It pays very well, it's not that hard, it really can't do damage, and you can only help the kid, and you make just raving fans out of these families because they're so grateful after you're done, just how the kid looks, functions, acts, behaves. It changes lives, basically. I can't promise you it's going to change lives, but it does more than you realize. So, and it's very gratifying, and it's this is the kind of stuff I got into dentistry for, and I don't think I realized it until I got a little older, and I was like, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. So y'all are going to see a big shift, I think, in 2026, and I've really been praying about this. What do I want to do in my consulting practice? And I really want to focus on the littles as much as possible. And I'll still help you guys with your aligner cases and your braces cases and your adults, no problem. Regular older teens, no problem. That stuff's so easy anyways. But this is the stuff I love. So you're going to see a lot more content about this. And I think this is the way things are shifting also. I mean, I can just tell by what the industry and what venture capital is getting into. So anyways, so one thing I always recommend doing is creating a pre-ortho queue or quay or queue, whatever you call these, a list. So of course, please do this in HIPAA compliant manner. I don't know how you're going to do it. No, Excel is probably not HIPAA compliant, but I'm assuming you know what's HIPAA compliant and what's not, so I'm not going to tell you how to make this list. Some people use codes. I mean, if you got open dental, you can create codes. Then you can run reports. I mean, that's a smart way to do things, right? Why do things analog when you can do things digital? But anyways, you need to get your skills up, get your crystal ball going, get your Miss Cleo going. You should be able to look at any 2-year-old, even an 18 to 20-month-year-old. If they can make a funny face with their fingers and stretch their lips back, I'm not saying you got to use retractors. Don't be using retractors. Do not use retractors. You guys are going to scare these kids. I go to parties and I'm like the freaking party sideshow. Parents line their kids up. They make a funny face at me. I look at their face. I can do it in 5 seconds and I can say, Mom, you got a big problem. Or Mom, you're doing a great job. Wow, great job. And I make sure if I see what I want to see, what do I want to see, right? Ideal overjet, ideal overbite, no cross bites in the back teeth. No crowding, obviously, because you should have 6 millimeters of crowding and spacing. This is not 6 millimeters of crowding and spacing. This is 2 millimeters of spacing, and it's probably more due to the freedom. So, and we've got a deep bite there, right? We've got an open bite here. This is mixed dentition, but I'm talking about all primary dentition. I'm talking about the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, and the 5s. That's what I'm talking about. This is just an open bite. This is not good either. I mean, we do have spacing, right? But we have anterior cross bites, so that's not good. No anterior cross bites, no posterior cross bites. Don't even look for the posterior ones. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't matter at this age, because until the molars are in, it doesn't really matter. Just be looking at the stuff you can look at easily. 6 millimeters of crowding and spacing on the upper arch and on the lower arch. And don't look in the back. This should be all between the front 6 teeth. Okay, like there should be literal spaces between every single tooth. And you don't see that a lot nowadays. When I see that on somebody, even if I don't know them, I'm like, Mom, I just want to let you know I'm an orthodontist. This is exactly what we want to see. This means you're doing a great job at home. You're feeding them well. You're doing great with posture. You're doing great with sleep. Congratulations. There's a lot of things that goes into having a good airway, trying to remind a kid to constantly blow their nose. That's hard, especially in a 2-year-old. So sometimes you have to get creative with nose blowing. You got to keep their airways clean. It is a lot of hard parenting to be able to create nice mouths and bites like this. Not like this, but like this. And to be honest, it's probably not happening if a kid's in daycare. I'm just going to be super honest. There's no way somebody is that on top. It's going to happen better if they're either raised at home, until age 5, or with a grandparent. I mean, I'm just saying, these are just things I've noticed. It's not going to happen in daycare. So all these things, if you do things properly from 0 to 5, it's very unlikely your kid's going to need major braces if you do things properly, assuming your genetics are good. I mean, you got to play the genetics card too. Sometimes there's genetic stuff. I mean, my kid has an impacted canine. Nothing I can do about that. That was genetic, right? So it effed up everything else. But create your queue. I would guarantee you, depending on what city or town you're in, you're going to have at least 80% of your 2 to 5s on this queue. I mean, there's going to be it's going to be an exception. Matter of fact, you should have a celebration. If someone doesn't make it in this list, well, holy cow, this is like a diamond. I would make sure the mom knows, like, you guys are very special because this is getting worse year after year after year. And these big problems are compounding by soft diets and everything else and just lack of everything. So create that queue. And no, it's not meant to scare parents. It's just meant, hey, we're just letting you know we're seeing a few things. You're not going to necessarily tell them you're putting them in a queue, okay? You're just letting them know, hey, I've observed a few things that I'm a little concerned of. Some of these things usually do turn into bigger things, Not that much we can do orthodontically until some permanent teeth start coming in. I want 4 molars, 4 permanent molars all the way up, 6-year-old molars, 4, okay? There's a few minor pre-ortho things you can do, but we're not calling them ortho. It's going to be related to habits and other stuff. And you can't get into the sleep and airway stuff too much without the ortho stuff. It just is a little bit messy. So just be careful in terms of how you diagnose this, how you treatment plan this, how you chart this. Obviously, if a kid's having like massive issues, remember all these pre-orthos, you should be doing a sleep disorder breathing form. And if you don't have one, you need to get one. We have them if you need them. We give them to anyone we work with, but they're floating around all over there on the net. And you need to be probably doing an in-house myo screening. A little tricky on a 3 or 4-year-old, but you can do a pretty good job with it. I mean, you can get some idea if there's tongue ties. If you can do it on babies, you can do it on 2 to 5s. You can just make it fun, ride in the chair. Let's look in the mirror. Let's see if we can snap a picture of the back of your mouth. We're going to make a mouth selfie. Can we do it? Let's see who can take the best mouth selfie. Mom can try, dentist can try, assistant can try. If you need ideas on working with 2 to 5s, I'm a 2 to 5 master. I hate to say it, but I'm really good. It's probably because I'm neurodivergent and kind of a spaz, but my natural abilities just work with 2 to 5s. Like, I become this totally different person and I'm like a kindergarten teacher. Yay. So, it's not that hard. You can make it fun. And if somebody is being super obstinate, well, screw it then. Just skip it and do it in 6 months. I mean, it's not that urgent. It's not like we're really going to do anything anyways. The goal is to educate the parents what you see, to start doing these screening forms, which you should do at least every 6 to 12 months between the 2 to 5 age range. Keep doing them because we want to keep building on that and having that conversation every time they're coming in from 2 to 5. Why are we doing this? A, to educate parents. B, if there's big problems, some of these kids are going to need to go to myo. Some of these kids are going to need to go to ENT. And we want these big problems taken care of before it's time to start ortho, because a lot of you guys are waiting to have these conversations until they're ready to start ortho at 6, 7, 8, phase 1. Once those molars have come in, and then you're like, oh no, there's myo and ENT problems. Oh no, yeah, you should have taken care of those before. So that's why I want you guys to do all this stuff at 2 to 5. Get rid of all the myo, and now you can't force them to go to myo, you can't force them to go to ENT, but you can keep reminding them that they need to go. And if we're seeing things getting worse, then there's reasons for that. And trust me, once those incisors start popping through at 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, and they're all crooked, and in collisions, I mean, stuff like this, they're gonna get the idea real fast that they should have done something before. So, like I said, can't force people to do it. All you're doing is creating awareness. But there are going to be parents who will start taking the advice. They will start going to ENT. They will start doing stuff at 2 to 5. They will get educated, and they will be primed to start ortho at 7, 7.5 when the time's right. And they will be ready, and it won't be that hard of an ortho. And one cool thing you can do, if there are habit issues, those you can treat from 2 to 5. And I love me a tooth pillow type of removable appliance, a habit corrector, a mouth pillow, whatever you want to call these, concept. Yes, there's a bunch of companies out there that make these. Yes, they cost like $7. No, I don't want them made in China. Yes, I want them FDA approved. I would prefer one that's also EU approved. So there's only a few that I would use. And no, I don't think you should have to pay $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 to take a stupid course to get certified to deliver a piece of plastic. This is insane. So no, don't pay that. I can get you them for $50, $60 a pop. If they're grinding their teeth, you're allowed to deliver that. If they are having habits like mouth breathing, you're allowed to deliver that. Oral habits, you're allowed to deliver that. We're not billing this for ortho because it's not an ortho problem. It's a oral habit issue. Okay, don't try to use insurance for this. All this is a waste of time. This screening you're doing is priming because it's the right thing to do for diagnosis for your patients. It's going to make things better once you get into phase 1 later. So if you guys start doing this now, in 3 to 4 years, you're going to have a pile of phase 1 interceptive cases. A pile. It's going to be hilarious how much content. I mean, you're going to make so much money. It's going to be ridiculous. So this gives you a couple years to get ramped up. I mean, certainly as you start doing this, you're going to be checking your 6, 7s, and 8s as well. You might have cases ready to go. So, I mean, you might be ready to go, and then you're priming this for a massive wave in a couple years. But I'm super excited about this. I don't know why people aren't doing this. And it's only a matter of time before AI and venture capitalists develop some type of computer that just looks in a child's mouth and says if they're going to need braces. And it will happen. And I'm laughing because I don't need a computer to tell me this, but it's a fun party sideshow trick. But it'll happen, and then everyone's going to be looking for ortho for their kids, and those people who are primed and ready to go are going to be jamming. All right, thanks.